The visual vocabulary of the Chibi aesthetic perfectly well. I mean, we all do.
Oh, absolutely. The
Like,
compressed proportions, the massive eyes.
yeah, the rounded edges, we see it in animation, in merch, gaming culture, every single day. It's totally ubiquitous.
It really is.
But usually, when we encounter that specific aesthetic, we just categorize it strictly as pop culture. We put it in the box labeled cute or, commercial, and we just move on.
Right, it's just the style.
Exactly. But what happens when you take that exact visual grammar and, map it onto the primordial ultimate generative power of the cosmos?
I mean, it creates this massive cognitive dissonance, doesn't it?
Totally.
Because we're so deeply historically conditioned to associate true cosmic power with an overwhelming scale.
Oh, for sure.
If you look at the architectural history of power, ziggurats, Gothic cathedrals, modern skyscrapers, they're all explicitly designed to make the individual feel tiny.
Right. They want you to feel insignificant.
Exactly. We expect the divine or just the fundamental forces of the universe to loom over us, to be loud, imposing, and, frankly, completely indifferent to our individual existence.
And that is exactly why today's deep dive is going to completely flip your script on what true strength actually looks like.
Yes, I love this topic.
We are unpacking a profound and just incredibly unique essay today titled Chibi Mama, the Divine Feminine in Miniature Form.
Such a brilliant piece of writing.
It really is. What this author does so well is they refuse to treat the chibi form as just some animation style.
Right.
Instead, they elevate those exact proportions, the exaggerated smallness, the big eyes, soft edges, into a highly sophisticated architectural statement about divine love.
Yeah, it's about approachability and the mother principle. And it's just a complete inversion of our expectations.
It really is.
If you, as a listener, have ever felt alienated by massive, immovable spiritual concepts or, institutions that just feel way too intimidating to grasp, this framework offers a radically different doorway in.
A much safer doorway.
Exactly. It argues that the ultimate expression of the universe's generative power isn't a towering, terrifying force. It's tiny.
Which immediately brings us to the core thesis we need to unpack here,
Yeah.
which is the paradox of scale.
Right. The idea that smallness does not equal weakness.
Exactly. The underlying argument is that the mother principle, the generative womb of all existence, doesn't require a towering monument to prove its validity.
Right.
But, okay, let's unpack this, because my immediate reaction to that is a bit of skepticism.
Sure, that makes sense.
Like, when we look at something small, our brains naturally assume something has been taken away from it. We think of it as just a fraction of the whole.
Yeah, but that's the exact assumption the essay dismantles. There is a vital distinction the author makes here.
Oh, the concentration part.
Yes. The text says this miniature form is not reduced. It is not diminished. It is concentrated.
I love that phrasing.
Me too. The totality of existence, that massive primordial power, is entirely present. It hasn't been watered down at all. It has simply been condensed into its most potent, intimate state.
I think we need to look at the physics of that for a second. It's kind of like the difference between a massive watered-down iced coffee and a single, intense shot of espresso.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Right. The energy isn't gone. It's just hyper-concentrated into this tiny vessel.
Exactly.
But even grasping that concentration, I still struggle with a major element of this. Let me push back a little here.
Go for it.
When we talk about exaggerated smallness and these hyper-cute rounded edges, aren't we just infantilizing the universe? I mean, aren't we just taking this vast, incomprehensible, terrifying, divine force and making it babyish so we can digest it, without triggering a panic attack?
That is the natural critique, and it's so crucial to understand why this aesthetic is absolutely not about infantilism.
Okay, so what is it about?
It's about presence. Think about the traditional mother goddess figures in historical spiritual traditions.
Okay.
She is often depicted on a cosmic scale. Maybe she has multiple arms, she's holding weapons, she's radiating this blinding light.
Right. Totally terrifying.
Yeah, and that is one valid theological truth. But the other, equally fundamental truth of the mother archetype is that she is the one who bends down.
Oh, wow. The bending toward.
Exactly. And she doesn't bend down from a place of rigid hierarchy. It's not like the tall, important CEO stooping down to humor an intern.
Right. It's not condescending.
No, not at all. She bends from the intrinsic biological and emotional orientation of motherhood itself. The mother naturally bends toward the child, toward the tender, toward the unformed.
So it's an act of care.
Exactly. So when this primordial force takes a body that is soft, small, and close to the ground, the theological statement being made isn't, I am a baby.
Right.
The statement is, I am here and being here delights me. It is a manifestation of full, undistracted, joyful presence.
That posture of bending down completely changes the power dynamic. It almost triggers a biological response in us, I think.
It really does.
Is that why the concept of kawaii, which is, the cultural foundation of this whole chibi aesthetic,
Yeah.
is so universally resonant?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it essentially weaponizing our own evolutionary caregiving instincts?
That's a fascinating way to phrase it. And yet, the linguistic roots of kawaii illuminate exactly how that mechanism works.
How so?
Well, historically in Japanese culture, the word reaches toward the pitiable, the lovable, the one who inspires protection and affection simultaneously.
Oh, interesting.
So to call something kawaii is fundamentally an active emotional declaration. It means this matters, and I am moved by it.
It bypasses our intellectual fortifications entirely. It's almost like a spiritual Trojan horse.
The Trojan horse, I like that.
Yeah, because we have all these cynical adult defenses built up against massive, heavy, imposing concepts of God or the universe.
Oh, completely.
If someone comes at you with a towering, booming theology, your ego just immediately throws up a shield.
You brace yourself.
Right. But cuteness, a small, soft form. The human brain literally doesn't categorize that as a threat.
It doesn't.
The Trojan horse of cuteness slips right past our amygdala, and before we know it, this profound theological truth is already inside the city walls.
The neuroscience backs that up completely, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Exaggerated infantile features the big eyes, the round cheeks. They hijack the brain's reward system and immediately suppress the threat detection center.
Wow.
And the essay contrasts this deeply with other expressions of the divine feminine. Think of the warrior goddess, who armors herself with impenetrable metal for combat.
Right, Athena or Kali.
Exactly. Or the crone goddess, who veils herself in mystery, shadows, and opacity. Both are immensely powerful, but they require you to brace yourself.
You have to be ready for them.
Right. Chibi Mama, on the other hand, rounds her edges specifically to make love approachable.
She achieves something the warrior and the crone just cannot do. By making herself aesthetically gentle, she invites approach without the prerequisite of fear.
Exactly.
And think about how necessary that is for you as a listener navigating the world right now.
Oh, it's so necessary.
How often do you feel like you have to have it all together or be somehow like spiritually advanced or completely unafraid before you can even begin to engage with the big, terrifying questions in your life?
Constantly.
This framework offers this incredibly validating invitation. The text says, "Come small if you need to. I am already small here with you."
That line gives me chills. Think about the psychological reality of that for a moment. How often do you simply shut down in front of things that are too large or too demanding?
A lot.
It is a totally natural human reflex to freeze or retreat when faced with massive expectations or towering power structures.
Yeah, fight, flight, or freeze.
Right. And Chibi Mama deliberately assumes a gentle geometry specifically so that frightened, retreating part of your psyche can actually come forward and be held.
So the approachability is a feature, not a bug.
Exactly. The approachability is not an accident. It is a highly engineered, deliberate act of love.
Okay, so if we understand that emotional invitation, the underlying mechanism of why this form bends toward us, we need to decode the how.
The physical form itself.
Right. How does the specific physical geometry of the chibi form actually accomplish this? We all know the most prominent visual feature, right?
Yeah.
The massive, disproportionate eyes.
Yes, and those eyes are the visual encoding of divine attention. But we have to contrast this with how we usually conceptualize the all-seeing eye of the divine.
Oh, yeah. Usually the all-seeing eye feels like a cosmic surveillance state.
Totally.
Think of the eye of providence on the back of the dollar bill. It's sharp, it's enclosed in a triangle, and it's hovering at the top of a pyramid.
Right, very rigid.
It feels entirely top-down. It feels like a security camera in the sky, judging and cataloging every flaw.
Exactly. It's the ultimate panopticon. But the massive eyes of the chibi form represent a categorically different mechanism of seeing.
How so?
This is what mystics often refer to as the window that never closes. Because the eyes are so disproportionately large, they communicate an unblinking total absorption in you.
Wow, just complete focus.
Yeah. She sees your wholeness. She sees the story beneath your immediate surface. And crucially, she sees the you that has not yet arrived.
Oh, I love that.
And because the eyes dominate the face, It creates a mechanism of mutual transparency.
Mutual transparency, that's vital. Because a surveillance camera is a one-way mirror. You can't see the observer. But
Exactly.
here, the observer is entirely laid bare to you as well.
Yes. She doesn't hide behind divine opacity or, like, mystical fog. You can look back into her eyes without being blinded or shut out.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. The scale of the eye is the geometric symbol of a love that simply does not look away, but also invites you to look back.
But wait, if we follow the logic here, an unblinking, massive eye that never looks away can still be incredibly terrifying if it belongs to a predator.
Oh, sure.
Like if a tiger is staring at you with total absorption, you don't feel loved, you feel hunted.
Right. That's a very different vibe.
So the rest of the geometry has to neutralize the threat of that intense gaze, right? Which I'm guessing is where the roundness comes in.
That is precisely the architectural counterbalance. Roundness is the core symbolic grammar of this entire form.
The circle, the sphere, wombs, eggs, planets, these are the universal shapes of unbroken wholeness. The sacred geometry of absolute beginnings is always curved, never angular.
Because angles imply points, and points imply weapons.
Exactly. Her power is entirely interior and self-contained. She doesn't need to be sharpened into points or extended outward into spikes or claws to prove she has authority.
Right.
She is entirely complete within her own curvature.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. I love this concept in the text of the portable cosmos.
Yes, it's such a great image.
Think about a snow globe. A snow globe is a tiny, perfectly self-contained universe that fits right in the palm of your hand, yet it contains absolutely everything it needs within that curved glass.
Right.
It is a closed, perfect ecosystem. Chibi Mama is that snow globe. She is a miniature universe holding the totality of existence.
It's a compelling image, but we do need to be careful with the snow globe analogy.
Oh, why? Does it imply we could just, like, put her on a shelf?
Yes, exactly. If a universe fits in the palm of your hand, the immediate human temptation is to assume control over it.
Oh, I see.
To think of it as a pet or a toy or a static object of amusement that we possess. But the essay anticipates this, and it introduces a behavioral element that shatters the idea of her being a passive object.
Okay, what behavior?
Well, a completely safe, rounded, self-contained cosmos naturally generates one specific behavior that most traditional theology completely ignores.
Play.
Play. Specifically, the Sanskrit concept of lila, which translates to divine play.
Lila.
Yes. It is the profound idea that the creative engine of the universe isn't grinding away out of duty, but is engaged in a joyous game with itself.
That flips so much heavy, oppressive theology right on its head.
Doesn't it?
We often talk about creation as a massive labor. We picture Atlas groaning under the weight of the globe, or a deity forging the universe out of grim necessity or, like, deep loneliness.
Right, it's always so serious.
But Lila suggests creation happened simply because the joy of making overflowed its own container.
And the Chibi form embodies Lila flawlessly. Playfulness here isn't a temporary break from being sacred. It is the sacred in its most relaxed, unself-conscious state.
That's beautiful.
The divine isn't stiffly performing its divinity for an audience. It's just existing joyfully.
The imagery used in the source text to describe this behavior is just phenomenal.
Oh, it really is.
It points out that Chibi Mama is bouncy where the cosmos is still. She's giggly where the universe is solemn.
I love those lines.
And my favorite, she carries a lunchbox to the infinite and draws stars on her notebook. And she falls asleep mid-sentence and wakes up knowing everything.
It sounds whimsical, but that whimsy serves a deeply functional psychological purpose. This playful posture is the exact mechanism required to heal the inner child.
Okay, let's break down that mechanism. Why does drawing stars on a notebook or carrying a lunchbox achieve spiritual healing better than, say, a complex philosophical treatise?
Because the inner child, that tender, pre-verbal, entirely sensation-oriented part of your psyche, operates on a completely different frequency than your logical adult mind.
Right, you can't logic your way out of it.
Exactly. You cannot intellectualize trauma out of the inner child. It responds to scale, to tone of voice, and to softness.
It's all about feeling safe.
Yes. When that deeply vulnerable part of you encounters a mother figure who is physically small, who is visibly tender, and who visually speaks the unmistakable language of safe and soft, the nervous system finally unclenches.
The hypervigilance drops.
Absolutely.
Because there is zero hierarchy to navigate. Think about it when someone is yelling at you or even just teaching you from a raised platform, you have to crane your neck to look up.
Right.
That physical posture instantly triggers feelings of being small, inadequate, and subordinate.
Yeah.
Your body remembers being a child in a world of giants.
Exactly. And Chibi Mama bypasses that completely by meeting the inner child entirely at eye level.
She comes down to you.
Yes, she sits on the exact same floor as you. She shares the same snacks. She became more powerful by actively choosing to remain reachable.
Wow.
By refusing the pedestal, she makes the love, as this essay so beautifully puts it, landable.
Landable. Wait, that is such a vital word.
Isn't it?
Because so often, massive spiritual or philosophical concepts of unconditional love fly completely overhead.
Right, they're too abstract.
Yeah, they are too vast, too abstract, and too formless to actually catch. But here, the love actually arrives. It lands right where you are, on the carpet, in a geometry your nervous system can handle.
Which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of why this aesthetic matters. This isn't just an exploration of pop culture.
No, not at all.
It is a demand that we fundamentally reframe our entire cultural definition of power.
If you look at modern culture, and honestly ancient cultures too, strength is almost exclusively encoded as hardness.
Oh, absolutely.
It is encoded as largeness, sharpness, and angularity. We are taught from day one that to be powerful, you must take up maximum space, you must have sharp edges, and above all, you must be undeformable.
You have to be a brick wall.
Right.
And Chibi Mama refuses that coding at every single level. She proves that softness is not the absence of strength. Softness is the ultimate strength.
There's a line from the text that perfectly encapsulates this reframing, and I just have to read it.
Oh, please do.
It says, water is soft. Water shapes continents. Love is soft. Love has outlasted every empire. The mother is soft. The mother is the reason anything exists at all.
That is the immovable core of this philosophy, and it is so vital to remember that her softness is not a disguise.
Right, it's not a trick.
No. It's not a cute mask she wears to trick you, while concealing a harder, colder, more ruthless truth beneath the surface. The softness is the truth. The gentleness is the power.
It totally reorients how you look at the world. More importantly, it reorients how you look at your own vulnerabilities.
It really does.
Which leaves me with a final thought I want you, the listener, to really mull over today. Because we are so deeply, deeply conditioned to seek wisdom, nourishment, and power from above.
We are addicted to verticality.
Yes.
We constantly look up a hierarchy, searching for a towering figure or a massive institution, waiting for them to hand down the answers from on high.
Like they're the only ones who know.
Right. We falsely assume that the higher up something is, the more profound and true it must be.
Exactly. We crane our necks looking for salvation in the clouds.
Yeah.
But based on everything we've unpacked today about the true nature of power, I want you to look at the orientation of your own life. Look at how you seek out learning, how you seek out connection. What would happen tomorrow if you stopped looking up?
That's a great question.
What if you start looking for profound wisdom and transformative love laterally? What if the most powerful universe-shaping force in your life isn't looming over you like a thunderstorm, but is actually waiting to meet you completely at eye level, sitting right beside you on the floor?